Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We start our presentation today with Kitab Al-Fatihah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so my name is Muhammad Amirul Basit bin Zaki with metric number 1629011, and today I will present to you about embedded system. Okay, so before we start, let me introduce first what IIOM engineering has. So this is the picture from the competition that I joined 2 years ago, which is Robocon Malaysia, and we got third place with RM 3000 ringgit. This competition is collaborative with Qt and also Roboteam. Okay, other than that, in engineering IIM, you can find a marine robotic lab where we do the boat surveillance. Then we have the aerial robotic labs, of course related to the drone. Next is biosignal lab, which we take the signal of the brain to control the robot. Other than that, robot design lab, which we used to gather around and finish our robot for the competition before. Then we go to the MRC3 lab, which this camera can take the motion of whatever happened in the middle and then can reverse the movement of the component. Okay, then we go to the RomoCap lab, which is motion capture. This one can we have a flight simulation and also a ship simulation, so we can control ship and flight from a ground station. Okay, lastly is embedded AI lab. This is most likely like a Tesla. You can see a car here is embedded with a camera surround, so that we can see the 360 view of the car and deploy it autonomously. Okay, so let's start with the embedded. Introduction. What is embedded system? Okay, so an embedded system is an electronic system that is hidden from the end user. That is, the system is embedded in the environment or other system. Okay, so we call it as an embedded system whenever it has an input variable, it brains something, and then output variables. If this process is complete, we call this as an embedded system. Okay, next, from the layman definition of embedded system, there's three types, which is the sensor, the input variable just now, such as button, keypad, thermometer, and potentiometer. The brain is obviously the microcontroller, which is some form of intelligence or mechanism to process sensory information. Lastly is the actuator. Actuator is the LED, speaker, LCD, and motor as the output. Okay, this is the variance type of Arduino. Arduino is a microcontroller, the brain just now. So we have many type of Arduino from the big scale to the small scale. The big one is the Arduino Mega 2560, and the smallest one is Arduino Nano. It used chip at Mega 2560 for the Arduino Mega, and the smallest one used at Mega 328P. Okay, so this is the programming language that we learn in everywhere. Okay, so the first one is Prolog. The first level of difficulty is Prolog, which is the easiest programming language to understand. Continue with MATLAB, Python, Arduino IDE, Admin Studio, and lastly is machine code. Okay, the harder the level of the difficulty, the easier we interact to the computer, because we use the machine code. Machine code is 010101, and the lower the level of difficulty, such as the MATLAB and Python, the easier the human to understand. Because it is human, it is environmental. Okay, so as an example, if we type M, the letter M, we convert the letter M in the machine code as an 56. Okay, so let's see the application of the embedded system in real life. Okay, so this is the daily life example of the embedded system. We can see this in everyday, such as mobile phone, car, printer. In industry, there's an airline, television, game machines such as PS4, PS5, and our camera. Okay, so let's see. This is my real life example of embedded system. I'm doing this project on my second year, just for fun. Okay, so let's see. What happened here is
Turn on
I said to
study
the
lamp.
Google, and then the Google will reply, okay, turning on basic study lamp. Then the bulb will light up. Okay, what happened here is
Turn
I
on bed
configure the
lamp.
ESP8266 with Node MCU so that it will connect to the same Wi-Fi as my phone. So whenever I speak with the
Turn
Google
off
Assistant,
study lamp.
it will connect to the Arduino and turn on the light bulb. This is the Internet of Things IoT. Okay, so this is the circuit design. This is the normal bulb and connected to the two-channel relay. Relay is used to control the high output voltage. Okay, then connected to the node MCU ESP8266, which connected to the same Wi-Fi as the Blink apps. This Blink apps, it can control the bulb remotely, and we use the Google Assistant as an add-on features to input to receive the input voice from the user to activate the Blink app. Okay, as for the coding, I will share in my GitHub later. Okay, so thank you. That's all for me. Okay, does anyone have question? I will
I have.
open the question. Okay.
What is the difference between Arduino and Artmail Studio?
Arduino and Artmail Studio. Okay, the difference between the Arduino and Artmail Studio is that Arduino doesn't have debugging tools. Okay, while Artmail Studio have. Okay, if we want to use the Arduino can't tell us what is the problem for this coding. Okay, so in order to add the debugging tools, we need to add on hardware debuggers on Arduino using ICSP pin so that we can upload the coding without using the bootloader. Okay, next. Anyone have a question?
Um, does embedded project help us in our future job?
Embedded project help us in our future job. For me, based on my experience, this December 2020, I work with a company named Incubate Berhad, and the main objective of this company is to what service to propose the service so that of the DETT, which is digital entrance tracking thermal, so that whenever people come into the mall, they can scan the face and the temperature of any participant lah, any people, and we can know the exact counter of how many people inside the mall. So for me, embedded system is really useful in the future job as many other companies still using Arduino as their hardware equipment as it is easy to use, affordable, cheap, and also a good looking hardware. Okay, any more question? Last question, I guess.
Uh, okay. Assalamualaikum. So,
Yes, sir.
sorry. So, in your opinion, what do you think?
Are you okay?
What do you think embedded can do in the future?
Okay, in my opinion, embedded can help in almost everything in the future. Okay, as an example, have you watched Ewally? Something like that. Ewally movie, which we can see that uh, the robot itself, Wall-E and Eva, also the chairs that the people sitting on, that's all an embedded system because everything is controlled by the robot. Even the pilot itself is an embedded system which can autopilot the ship. Okay, so for me, in this pandemic, it is very important to have an embedded system, such as what happened now in the IUM. Qt is doing a project named Mendibot, and it can, the doctor can talk to his patient without even contacting them or even seeing them. So by that, we can interact with each other without even being there. So by that, the coronavirus cannot be spread throughout the patient and doctor conversation. Okay, so this Medibot is going to apply in the IUM content in early 2021. Okay, any more question? Okay, I guess that's all for today. Thank you for joining my presentation. Okay, we close our majlis with tasbih kafarah and surah al-as. Thank you everyone. Assalamualaikum.